grade 7s, welcome to part 3 of lesson 4. In this lesson we will be finishing off with common fractions. So if you have a look at the notes, we are now on percentage increase or decrease. This is page 88 in your textbook. So before I go on, remember I said in the previous lesson that percentages are always a fraction out of 100. That is your key idea that you need to remember when working with percentages. So in this lesson, we are going to work out the percentage increase or the percentage decrease of a certain number. So for example, the question will say the sale percentage of an item went from 10% off to 30% off. What was the percentage increase? That's the type of question that you are going to get in this section. So when we are dealing with this percentage increase and decrease, we use one standard formula. It's the difference of the two numbers. In other words, whatever the two percentages are that's given to you, you're going to minus them. So biggest minus smallest. And then you're going to put it over the original number. So the one that it started with, the first number. Okay, so the steps here. It says determine whether it's an increase or a decrease. So for example, if it goes from 10 to 30, you know the number's getting bigger, so it's an increase. But if it goes from 80 to 45, then you know the number's getting smaller, so it's a percentage decrease. If it's an increase, the number will get bigger. If it's a decrease, the number gets smaller. That's what it says here. Number 2, use the above formula and substitute in the correct numbers. So in the yellow block there. Number 3, simplify the fraction. And number 4, multiply by 100 over 1 to get the percentage increase or decrease. Remember, whenever we're looking for a percentage, we multiply by 100 over 1. So I'm going to do the first 2 with you, and then the next one you're going to do on your own. So the first one, we are going from 10% to 25%. So is that an increase or a decrease? That is an increase because the number is getting bigger. It's going from 10 to 25. So it's an increase. Okay, so my formula over here says percentage increase, because this is an increase. You don't need to write the word out in full. Is equal to the difference of the two numbers. So we're going to subtract them. Biggest minus smallest. So in this case, it's 25 minus 10. Your denominator is the original number. So the first one is always your original number. The second one is always your new number. So my original number is 10. Okay, so 25 minus 10 is 15. My denominator stays the same. So 15 over 10. Now, we've simplified the fraction. We've simplified as in we've subtracted. Now we need to multiply by 100 over 1 because we want the percentage that it's increased by. So remember, when we're multiplying, all you do, multiply the top, multiply the bottom. So 15 times 100 is 1,500. 10 times 1 is 10. So 10 or 1,500 divided by 10. Remember, we can just cancel the zeros. So my answer is 150%. Don't forget to put the percentage sign because we're working out percentage increase. So this question was 150% increase, that whatever this item was. Okay, and remember, percentage can be more than 100 depending if it's increasing by a certain amount. Okay, then the second one. We've got 50 to 23. Okay, so now it's going from 50 to 23, so that is clearly a decrease. It's going biggest to smallest, so it's a decrease. So you're going to say percentage decrease is equal to the same formula. The difference of the two, so biggest minus smallest, 50 minus 23. over my denominator, which must be the original number. So in this case, it's a 50. Next step, we simplify this. So 50 minus 23 is 27. My denominator stays the same. Now we multiply by 100 over 1 because we want the percentage. Okay, and this is when we multiply across. So 27 times 100 is 2,700. 50 times 1 is 50. So again, we can cancel the 0, 1 0 only. So we're left with 270 divided by 5. Now you can use a little house if you want to. So 5 goes into 27, 5 times with the remainder of 2, so that becomes 20. 5 goes into 20, 4 times. So my answer is 54%, and that's percent decrease. Right, the third one's not been done for you. Quickly go work it out for me and then come back when you're ready to see the working out. Okay, so the last one is 40 to 80. Okay, it's going from 40 to 80, so clearly that's an increase. Okay, so percentage increase. Please make sure you're always telling me, is it an increase or a decrease? Is equal to the difference. So 80 minus 40 over the original one, which is 40. Okay, work it out. 80 minus 40 is 40 over 40. We want to times it by 100 over 1 because we want the percentage. You multiply across. So that's 4,000 over 40. We can cancel 1 0, 1 0. 4 goes into 400, 100 times. So that is 100% increase. Okay, in other words, it doubled itself. It went from 40 to 80. So that is 100% increase. Again, please make sure you are telling me in your formula if it's an increase or a decrease. You can even write it again at the end just to be extra sure, because if you leave it out, you will be losing a mark. Okay, so I'm going to quickly run through. Step 1, you determine is it an increase or a decrease. Step 2, you write your formula and you substitute in the difference, so big minus small, over the original one, the first number that's given. You simplify that, you multiply it by 100 over 1, and then you simplify. Right, so that brings us to the end of common fractions, the end of this topic. So there will be a knowledge test posted later today for you to complete. This knowledge test must be completed on Seesaw. So there are different ways of doing it. You can either insert a text box onto the actual template that I'm going to upload for you, and then do your working out or your answers in the text boxes. Or you can do it in your workbook, and if you're using a cell phone or a tablet, you can take a photo of the knowledge test in your workbook and upload it on Seesaw. But I have to see this because I'm marking this and I'm giving you marks for it. So you can see it's just the knowledge test is a combination of questions about this section. It's fine if you don't show your working out, as long as I see the final answer, then I'm happy.